3, 2, 1.
Peanut Gallery Gaming.
Welcome to another episode of Peanut Gallery Gaming, where our opinions don't matter. This week we'll talk about the worst video games that we've ever played to date. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So let's just kick this episode off by seeing who's joined us at the table today. As always, I'm Hodded. We have Stinky Bandit.
Hello.
Along with Hoggy Dog.
Hey.
Joining us again today is Bardo Il Perso.
Hello.
As always, we have Uncle Blobby.
Hello, happy Friday.
Friday's always a good day, especially in the gaming community. Now, before we start this rant fest of games that we don't like, did a little bit of research on games that everybody doesn't like. So I'm going to list off a few of these, and maybe some of you guys have picked these, but there's a game called Shaq Fu.
Oh, I played that.
What is that about? Was it basketball combined with kung fu?
I would think so, but no. This is actually a Super Nintendo game that was back in the fighting game era, you know, in Street Fighter 2 and all that sort of crap was a thing. But you played as Shaquille O'Neal, who got teleported into a demon dimension, and it was a Street Fighter type game where the main character was Shaquille O'Neal.
So where does it get
Sounds
bad?
terrible.
So, yeah.
This is
So bad.
so bad it's just like his acting. Zam movie or
Shots fired.
Sam.
Shazam had Sinbad in it.
did it?
No, I could be wrong.
Second game on the list was Jurassic Park Trespasser. Never heard of that one before, but apparently.
What system was that for?
Oh,
PC, I think.
Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
That game sucked. I played that game.
What game was that on?
Oh, the Mortal Kombat sucked.
What was it on? What was that? I heard something whispering in the background.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
All the Mortal Kombat sucked.
There was
I trying to keep it
one
the download.
on PlayStation 2 that was pretty decent. I can't remember what it's called because it's been so long, but
There's another game called Way of the Warrior. Never heard of that one or played that one. Hotel Mario. And last but not least, Superman 64.
I watched a video about that.
Oh, yeah.
It looked up there with the worst games that could even possibly exist.
I saw one still image, and it was of Superman flying through a ring, and I said, yeah, that is garbage.
Yeah, that Superman flying through rings was the main game, judging by what I saw.
Laser eyes, you ring syndrome. Okay, so let's start talking about our games that we think are the worst. Stinky, start off with you. You had to pick.
All right. Well, I'm just going to narrow it down to one. See, because like if there's a shit game and I don't like it, I just don't play it. So
Good call.
one game that does frustrate me is more of just the franchise, the actual game itself. It's probably the whole franchise. And we already mentioned it, and that's Mortal Kombat. I fucking hate Mortal Kombat.
But why do you hate Mortal Kombat?
But so this is coming from a competitive point of view. Okay, like if you get somebody who rents the game out on the weekend and you play your next door neighbor or your brother and sister or whatever, it's whatever, you know, like it doesn't matter. But see, like, you know, I guess like I would have said there in a couple of other podcasts, you know, I used to play Street Fighter fairly competitively, you know, Street Fighter 2 and all that sort of stuff and whatever just throughout the days. And Mortal Kombat from a competitive point of view is garbage.
Compared to all the other ones.
It's straight up. It starts off with a block button. There's no place for a block button in a 2D fighting game. It actually takes away from the depth. It's garbage. So there's that. All their characters are shitty. Well, they got a Shaolin monk that's got a mullet haircut. What's going on there? That makes no sense. Like,
Well, Scorpion.
Yeah,
Scorpion's
Mortal
pretty
Kombat.
well known and well liked.
But like, I don't like Mortal Kombat. Like, all their female characters look like they're secretly dudes. Like, the only character that I would say I like in Mortal Kombat is that dude who pops in every now and then going, Toasty! Everyone else can fuck off because they're all shitty. Like, and like, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like Mortal Kombat. So, from a competitive point of view. And then they bring in a run button later on, right? You need a run button. You just tap forwards.
Point one direction away. So, okay, so what would make it a better game for you to make you want to play it more?
Make the game better.
Just in general?
No. I personally just don't like Mortal Kombat because to me it's just a cheap Street Fighter ripoff. That's all it kind of is, you know? Kind of like, especially like this isn't aimed at all the Mortal Kombat. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You know what I mean? Like, how many do you need? They're all crap. Fuck them off. Like, no, and like, you know, like, so yeah, if you're just playing a game here and there against your cousins or, you know, brothers or sisters or whatever, it's whatever. But from a competitive point of view, it's shitty. It's not snuff with, you know, Street Fighter 2 from that point of view. I guess, you know, like Street Fighter 2 today is still played in tournaments. How many Mortal Kombat tournaments do you hear of? None. You know, like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3, they're still played in tournaments now.
It's true.
But Mortal Kombat...
Yeah, okay, so I don't hear about any Mortal Kombat tournaments. But to be fair, I don't hear about like, Street Fighter tournaments either, and maybe that's just because I don't play either game.
Maybe Street Fighter's garbage.
But like...
there's tournaments every year. I mean, there's still Tetris tournaments. Tetris is more popular.
Like, I very strongly believe that Mortal Kombat came out at the right time when all the fighting games are starting to blow up, when, you know, all those sort of things were happening. And the only reason it stuck around is because of the gore and fatalities. If they weren't in there, that game would have been forgotten about years ago.
It's true.
And if you think, like, you know, and like, so from a, you know, just playing your brother or sister or whatever, it's whatever it is. But from a competitive point of view, if you look at a fatality, all that is just a glorified taunt. You've already won.
You got to rub it in there.
That's all it is. It's just, yeah, it would, like...
You got to be able to show them that you can hit.
Be the equivalent of you shooting somebody and then doing an emote over the top of their body for every person that you kill in your
Teabag
or, you know...
Teabag. That's...
Yeah, it's basically all it is. Like, and it doesn't, you know, like, you know, it's just not, and there's no depth to it. Like the old, especially Mortal Kombat 1, there was no depth to that game at all. Every character is the same apart from the special moves. Liu Kang's standing high punch is the exact same as Raiden's standing high punch. There's no difference between, you know, the distance or the frames or, you know, or whatever else you want to get into. It's all the same. So yeah, me and Mortal Kombat have always had a hatred. But only from that point of view, from the competitive point of view.
You play it for fun with your friends, though.
No,
but he's saying other people could, and it's okay.
Other than him.
The only thing I think Mortal Kombat has ever brought to the table was their story modes that they had in 10 and 11.
We're pretty good, yes.
They're actually like proper things where it goes through a cinematic story. And apart from that, from a versus point of view, nah, it's fuck it. Just get out of here. Stop making these games.
There's one like that on PlayStation 2 also that had a storyline. I think it was Armageddon. Is that
the one on GameCube had...
There's one on PlayStation 2 because that's what I played it on.
It's probably the same game. I would have come out at the same time.
So I don't hate Mortal Kombat. I guess hate it from a competitive fighting game point of view, you know, because I used to play those games very high back in the day. So from that point of view, I just hate it. There's 11 of them. Stop it.
Okay. Let's move on to our next worst game or hated game, Hoggy Dog.
See, this was a hard question for me. It's like, there haven't ever been a game I hated. Because there's just none in particular, but there is a type of game that I hate. and I refuse to play.
Okay.
That's any turn-based attack game I will not touch.
Whoa.
I am not about the you attack, then I attack, you attack, then I attack. No.
You mean like Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Mario
Final
RPG?
Fantasy, RuneScape.
Paper
I
Mario?
love
not
Pokemon,
good.
but I'm not too big on the Pokemon games. Any game like that.
That's crazy.
That's shots fired. If I've ever heard shots fired.
I'm not. I don't.
Well, what about say XCOM?
I do not like turn-based video games.
At all.
Think about when RuneScape was popular and everybody was playing RuneScape and World of Warcraft came out. I played World of Warcraft instead of RuneScape. And I tried to play RuneScape and it was the turn-based attack that just killed that game for me.
Played a lot of RuneScape.
Any Final Fantasy game, except for the one that came out recently. Well, not recently. It's been a couple years now. It wasn't turn-based, and it was like kind of more open world. It was fun. I played it. But anything turn-based, no.
Nothing turn-based. So basically, for you to play anything like turn-based, it would have to fix the whole game itself.
Well, that being said, there are some turn-based games, I guess you could say, I would play. Like if we were to play like an online version of Monopoly or something like that, or like Golf It, or anything like that where you have to take turns. It's a little different though than the type of game I'm talking about. Kind of like Final Fantasy, turn-based. It's a fighting style game. You know, there's action. I don't want to take turns attacking each other. I just
want to run at each other. Fighting each other, punching.
That's my answer, and that's not just one game. That's a lot of games. So,
yeah, no, I think that's a fair statement too. Like that certain style of gameplay, there's something to it. You know, you have to sit there and wait. You make your move and then you wait, and then you make your move and you wait, and that's not for everybody.
So you hate that mechanic. You don't just hate games; you hate the mechanic of turn-based attacks.
In most games,
simulator.
But there are some games where it doesn't really matter because, like I said, if we played an online version of Minecraft, it ain't gonna bother me. Or not Minecraft. Wow. Monopoly. I don't know why I said that because I looked over and seen the Minecraft symbol. Anyways, Monopoly. That doesn't bother me, but when it's a game like Final Fantasy or RuneScape or something like that, you know, where you're there's action to it, I can't do it. Nope. That's why a lot of the phone games that people play that are turn-based attack, I ain't for.
The ones that make you wait for like 23
like what's
hours.
That real popular one? Raid Shadow Legends.
Soon to be sponsor.
We hope.
Yeah.
I mean, we love that game. That is the best.
Yeah, we love that game.
Yeah, that's the best turn-based game ever.
It's the only good real-time strategy there is.
Okay.
That's my pick. There you go.
Okay. So, Bardo.
Yeah.
I know you have one or two games picked out. Or first games and or games that are just garbage, but played anyways.
Yeah. What was the Wolfenstein we played through together?
Wolfenstein Youngbloods.
Yeah, that game can go fuck itself. That game should never be played by anyone.
Yeah, you still played
the whole way all the way through and got achievements, but that was the most brutal game because we were just playing a cooperative campaign game. To beat
they had load screens for load screens.
Fucking stupid, dude. Let me get into this elevator. All right. You touch it too. Load in. All right. Now we need to push this button to load up an elevator. Sweet. Now we need to open this door together at a load screen. And it was a cutscene. So it was like these little snippets as the load screens. And they were the most irritating things I've ever seen. You'd poke each other in the elevator when you'd go up.
It'd make the game 4 times as long.
Oh my god!
Those load screens.
Well, what did you think of it, Brian?
It was bad. It was pretty bad. Okay, so not only did it have a lot of load screens, but I also think that it had bad AI for playing against. There's no. There's areas where you couldn't go into because your character was too weak to go into. Therefore, made it a terrible leveling mechanic for your character. It's either you're running through everybody and laughing and giggling as you're shooting them in the face. It was too easy. Or you're beating your head against the wall, taking out, shooting twice, taking off a minuscule amount of health off an enemy, and back and forth, and you run out of ammo. It was just wasn't very level playing field for you against the AI. If that makes sense to you guys at all.
Yeah.
And I like a game where you can unlock all your skills while playing video games. This one here, you pretty much had to choose a path and really have to rely on your other buddy you're playing with to unlock certain perks, like get into hidden rooms and whatnot to really make the game fun to play, to get all the little loot and all the new guns. And then I know another thing that we got kind of messed up on, storyline was very unclear on which way they wanted us to go. I think we went into the third dungeon, so there would be 4 dungeon-esque type areas. We went from 1 to 4, then back to 2, and then 3, I think, and then the final boss. It was very unclear.
Yeah, we killed Big Brother 4, and then we're like, oh, we're supposed to kill Big Brother 3?
Yeah, what's going on here? And there were certain certain guns you were supposed to get prior to Big Brother 4 that would help you get through the level and open certain doors. You would need a laser to shoot through this door, or electricity gun to shoot this little capacitor that would open another door. And we didn't have any of those, and we're like, what's this? There's no very clear where you're supposed to go. And I guess that's okay if you just want to go in and have fun, but if you want to grind it out and beat the game and enjoy it, you kind of want a clear storyline.
And the story was shit.
I'm just so shocked that you just hated the game, but you just played it the whole way through.
We beat it.
Yeah, so.
I mean, you heard us. We were hunting onions.
Yeah, we were collecting onions.
Yeah. The whole game we were just collecting. I think we made it amusing to play. It was just us bantering throughout the game. But the game
fun
itself.
To have. What are you done solo?
No, I don't think I could do that solo. And I just finished both New Blood and Old Blood, and those games are amazing. How dare they make something like that? That is wow.
I do like the fact of games that you can play with your friend. They can hop in and then you two go through it like that. No Way Out, was that the one we played? Another one?
Yeah,
A Way Out, or you can have, or
maybe the convicts. Yeah.
You and your friend can play through, and you kind of need help each other to solve some riddles, but
mystery.
Not when the game's just complete utter garbage and in your head against the wall every minute of it.
Okay, so another game I really hated was a game called Sneakers for the original Xbox.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever. Okay, so you're like a mouse warrior, and you must battle other mice that are in the area. I think you're saving your friends. I played it when I was a kid. It was the stupidest thing I'd ever played. And as you said, I kind of played through half the game, but I hated every second of that game. I
Never heard of this game. Is it 2D? 3D?
No, I think it was 3D. It's called Sneakers. It's for the original Xbox. I think it came as a title release. And what was that other game? And that was a good game. You battled competitive courses. Doesn't matter. But yeah, if you've ever seen or played Sneakers. It's a terrible fucking game.
Release date was February 22nd, 2002. Puzzle video game. It's for early childhood.
Yeah.
No wonder it was terrible.
That's a tough game, man. And then Star Wars Battlefront. That's the other terrible game. The
I know we were all hyped for it.
That was so bad.
I remember that.
Latest Battlefront that they brought out?
Yeah.
Both.
Like Star.
Were you talking about your Jedi Fallen Order or whatever it was? Were you talking about Battlefront?
Star Wars Battlefront. We all bought the game because EA's like, look how amazing this is. And we're like, yeah. And then play it and you're like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. You flying?
I didn't jump in on that.
You're smart, man. That was a waste of like $60.
I remember one of the people we used to play video games with, Paulie. He bought the game and it was so bad he actually forced Xbox to refund him money.
Really? I believe that.
And they paid him back. It was a bad game. It was super hyped up. Everybody was excited to play it, and then it was a total flop except for the flying. I think that's where everybody was playing. Just flying around.
I agree.
Those are your 3 games. Okay. Uncle Blobby? You have a game that you really dislike?
I have one that I really dislike, but the first 2 that I'm going to mention, well, that I semi-dislike and only semi-remember are from my childhood when I was super into Mario. And I used to go and rent games from the local game store. And one of them was Mario is Missing, and the second one was Mario's Time Machine. And it turns out they're actually like, one is the sequel of the other. They're kind of a series, but they're both supposed to be educational, quote unquote, educational Mario games. And when I was a kid, I don't quite think I got that, because I rented the games and I was quite disappointed that they weren't anything like the Mario games I had played in the past. Like, the Mario is...
I've played Mario.
Yeah, and that one you play as Luigi, obviously, because Mario is missing. But beyond that, I just didn't get it. Apparently, you were supposed to find Mario. Bowser had stolen him and stolen a bunch of artifacts from across the world. And you had to return the artifacts to their proper locations geographically. But I just didn't know how to make sense of that. And maybe...
I think there are actually some of those horrendous Mario games that were made by not Nintendo, by other companies, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And the second one...
What was that other one you mentioned there? Like Hodded mentioned one at the start.
Mario's Hotel Mario.
Yeah, I never played that one.
That also was made by
I never played that one because it'd probably be on my list too. But the second one was Mario's Time Machine, and it was the same sort of concept. It was some kind of educational game where Bowser had stolen these artifacts throughout history, and Mario had to use Bowser's time machine to go back in time and replace the artifacts where they were supposed to belong. And when I was 11 years old, I just didn't get that. I didn't know where any of the artifacts were from or why I was taken there. I just wanted to play Mario and like jump on some Koopas and go down pipes, but there was none of that.
Who wants to learn when playing video games? You're there not to learn. You're there to have fun.
No, I was there to rot my brain, not to fucking try to get educational about it. So I really had a bad experience with both of those. Fortunately, it's way back in my memory banks, so I'm not too salty about it today. And the third game that's probably the worst game ever in my opinion is Guitar Hero and any variation thereof.
Ooh, okay. Well, there's a huge fan base of this, so
there is.
Guitar Hero ever made.
I can't stand Guitar Hero.
And why?
Because
gotta know why.
More of a Dance Dance Revolution, man.
Yeah, I like to move my feet, not my fingers. No, I think because at the time the Guitar Hero came out, I was trying to learn how to play actual guitar, and the Guitar Hero guitar is not much like an actual guitar. And I thought that people should be like, if you want to be a Guitar Hero, you should learn how to play a guitar instead of playing
real
the
hero.
Guitar Hero guitar. Yeah. Now, counterpoint. Not everybody wants to try to play an actual guitar, and maybe it's just fun to play that game, and that's okay too. Now, my third reason is me and my buddy used to hang out, and one time we went to Blockbuster to rent an Xbox game, and he wanted to rent Guitar Hero, and he didn't have the guitar controller, and Blockbuster didn't give you a guitar controller. So we took Guitar Hero home and we played it with the Xbox controller with like the paddles on the top of the controller. And I was just like, this is nothing like guitar whatsoever. You got 4 buttons here that match with the buttons on the runway or whatever. And for me, that just wasn't a good time.
After all this said and done, now you can play the guitar pretty good, can't you?
I played the guitar for like 20 years.
So
how many landfills out there do you reckon are full of all those shitty old plastic Guitar Heroes?
Yeah, I don't know.
I had quite a few because it was huge when it came out. Remember, everybody was talking about it.
It was.
That was.
Then there was DJ Hero.
It was the whole rock band.
Rock Band.
It's like
Rock
you
Band.
had the microphone and the drums and the guitar and everything.
Thing
a party game for sure.
Yeah, sure, and I could see it being fun, but it wasn't for me.
No party I
ever.
want to go to.
And like, I had a friend who was super into trying to like get that Dragon Force song on like expert mode or whatever. And like the notes are just flying by you on the screen, and you're pressing the 4 buttons and flapping the thing as fast as you can. And I was just like, okay, it's kind of impressive, but
what if you didn't have
why?
an arm?
Yeah, or what if you want to play an actual guitar? It's not a lot like that. I don't know.
Like that South Park episode where that guy's sitting there playing the Guitar Hero guitar.
I haven't seen that one, but I probably like it.
Okay.
So that was the one I thought of today. It actually stuck out in my mind. I was like, wow, you know what? I actually really didn't like Guitar Hero.
What a terrible game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I picked 3 games here as well. One we already talked about, Youngbloods. Terrible game. Got all the achievements though. For a couple that just didn't even want to bother getting. So the first game I want to call out is Astronaut Tier. I think Stinky and I started playing this one together. And the problem I have with it is the controls are complete garbage on the controller.
Yeah, on a keyboard mouse, it would probably be a lot more easier. We had no idea. We were absolutely flipping our bass upside down, trying to fucking put a pump in the side of our machine.
And then digging holes, and then you get stuck. And another bad mechanic that I thought it's supposed to be a survival game. But it had an oxygen meter for your character, and you had to build these little stupid oxygen lines everywhere you wanted to go. Could have done without that for sure. It's like you could be stuck down in the bottom of this cave trying to find your little stupid oxygen thing and then just end up dying. And then you're trying to figure out the controls to even plant stupid things where you're going. I was just, not even Rockstar could save that game.
Maybe if you played it on the Guitar Hero guitar.
It needs a Guitar Hero guitar to play that game for sure. I know that's the only reason why I don't like that game is mainly mechanics of the oxygen and the fact that the controls just sucked. So needless to say, 20 minutes after downloading it, it got installed. Pretty damn quick. Second game I didn't like, which Stinky hates me for it already, and I know I'm going to catch a lot more hate. Perfect Dark, I thought was a pretty terrible game. And hear me out on this, is that the graphics were so horrible. They were so bad. I remember there was levels I didn't even know where to go.
You told me, yeah.
Yes,
Perfect
too dark.
Dark.
You can.
It was perfect. It was
exactly.
dark.
Like,
what are you talking about?
What more do you want there?
No.
Pathways I couldn't see, like going down, or like figure out. I guess when I was a kid, when I was younger, it's hard for me to figure out. And you go down this hallway, and whatever. Just everything blended together with all its garbage, pixelated garbage. That's how I feel about it.
Well, I reckon, in my opinion, Perfect Dark was almost a better version of GoldenEye.
That's what it was supposed to be.
Made by the same people,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Talking about.
It was fun to play with your friends.
It was made by the same people. If you played multiplayer, you could actually put bots in there, so you could have 4 of us versus 10 bots, stuff like that. So that was kind of a step up. Sims. You had laptop, like most of the guns had alternate fires with laptop guns that you'd throw on the ceiling to be a sentry gun if someone walked in there, stuff like that. What else was in that game?
Did it have?
It also
had
I'm
nukes.
pretty sure it was called Counter Ops. So there was a 2-player version of that game that you'd play as a campaign, and I think it was called Counter Ops, where one person would actually be the single player trying to do the mission, and the other person would just be an average enemy spawning in the stage, and you'd have to try and stop the other person from doing the mission, kind of thing. I played a lot of Perfect Dark, but I was also about 18 when I was playing that game, so I liked it.
Yeah,
I think I was
14.
maybe 9.
No, you would have been 12, maybe.
Guns that could shoot through the walls. The game was amazing. Those Sims.
Yeah, that gun was
the Sims though were the fun part. You had revenge Sims. You had the dumb Sims. You had Sims that were just ridiculously too qualified to play that game. Revenge Sims were the worst because then they just kill you.
They had the cool shooting range that you had back at your base, and you'd have to do little shooting range challenges to unlock other guns and all sort of shit. To me, Perfect Dark was a great game.
I totally agree.
The reason why I hated it is because the graphics, and the graphics were not good enough to make it a better game. But now being said, you guys saying that potentially changed my mind, because it was a long time ago and graphics were garbage back then to begin with.
Yeah, but you really like graphics in games. You're someone who likes to see clean games.
Yeah. If I step in shit in a video game, I want to know I stepped in shit on a pixelated block. You know what I'm saying? Smell-o-vision needs to become a thing.
It's Nintendo 64, though. You can't expect too much.
Yeah, in 2002, graphics were graphics.
Yeah, these graphics are the best I've ever seen. Could they get any better? Remember, that was some comments.
No, you guys were just jacking off to GoldenEye the other day, and Perfect Dark, I'm pretty sure had the same game engine that GoldenEye had. It was the sequel. It was the sequel.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been that much worse, if you ask me.
360 one was shitty because it was kind of a big letdown compared to what GoldenEye was. But if you didn't like GoldenEye, you might have loved the 360 version. I don't know.
You have to give it a shot again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can play it on the computer.
Me and one of my friends, we played that co-op single player version. We had some good sessions on that where Stinky, you were saying one player just plays the game and then the other guy's a random enemy. We had some fun with that.
Yeah, I would say, Hodded, that if you hated the graphics back then, don't even turn it on now, because I guarantee if you hated them back then, they're not going to do anything for you now.
So I'm looking up some images here of Perfect Dark. So the graphics aren't as bad. No, they're not as bad as I remember. Maybe it was just a certain level I was trying to beat in the game where it was all crystal. It was all crystally on an alien planet.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's what I remember from my childhood, because I just didn't figure it out, and it made me upset enough not to play it anymore.
Yeah, now it's...
Because it had that whole system just like GoldenEye, like we were talking about the other week, where you do the stage on the harder difficulties to do more things, and if you did it within a certain time, you'd unlock the cheats, and it had that whole system going for it.
Okay, maybe I'll take it back. Maybe Perfect Dark isn't as bad as I remember it being.
Yeah, the new one turns out whenever that eventually comes out.
We should make a movie about Perfect Dark. That would be good.
Porno parody.
Okay. So, that being said, those are pretty much the worst games I think we can think about currently. I'm sure we'll have more in the future. Okay, let's take a minute to hear a word from our sponsor. But let's get into our next segment. It's time for Hodded's Theoretical Questions of the Week. The segments where I ask the group and our Twitter and Facebook followers to answer a theoretical question. This week, I asked the guys if they were a superhero, who would their sidekick be, and what would both of their powers be? Oh,
That's a tough one.
Would you like to? It is a tough one, but it's good. I have a good answer. I want to hear Stinky's answer first.
I was going to say, you go first if you got a good one.
I do have a good one, but I'll wait till the end. I want to hear your guys' first.
So they can steal our good ideas.
Pen and paper ready.
That is his secret power. That's Hodded's power. Well, I don't know. Like, I love Magneto. He's probably my favorite character in the Marvel universe. But if I had to have the powers, I'm probably going to take Doctor Strange. He's got time manipulation, his own little, pocket dimension, see into the future.
That's because he has a time stone. Does he get the?
But that's part of his
power. No. If he loses, no. Just as a regular power. That's a debate for later. No, that's a Marvel debate.
Okay, so here's a question: Would Doctor Strange be able to make good glory holes?
The best.
Well, yeah, because he can do his little, his little portals. So you can have a glory hole from my house to your house.
This is good.
Great. You can't not beat that.
Okay, so that would be your power. What would your sidekicks, and who would be your sidekick if you had to choose? Just have to pick a person.
Ooh, if I can choose a person to have the powers, I'm probably going to choose Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys, because I just think he's a great character. He's awesome. But I'm going to give him the powers of Captain Marvel. Okay. Is it? I'll do that. Because I think Bubbles is a great character. I love that character for TV shows. But if I can give him powers,
one of the most
I'll give him Captain Marvel, because she's basically
the Marvel universe.
And she's just a better version of Superman, because Superman's over there with Mortal Kombat in the shitty territory, because I fucking hate Superman as well. But that's another topic. So that would be me. I'd be I'd be Doctor Strange with Bubbles as Captain Marvel.
Okay, can I throw a wrench in this question? I want to add one more thing. Is this possible? I'm going to allow this as a referee of the question. I'm going to allow this. Okay, who would your main villain be?
Somebody really easy.
No shit, eh?
The Noid.
I'd rather think of so much more now.
Yeah, Captain Crunch.
I had to. It's a little loop I got to throw in and just throw a little curveball for you guys today. Okay, so
it's on my
Doggy Dog, you got one for us?
I thought about it, and I don't want to copy, I don't know if this has ever been, if a superhero ever had this power, or villain for that matter, but I want the ability to just, if there's something I wanted or needed, just to, bam, it's right there in front of me.
Materialize in front of you.
Exactly.
Genie from Aladdin.
That's exactly what that sounds like. Doesn't matter. He makes anything he wants happen.
Right, but he's trapped in a vase and shit. I'm not.
Right, that's fine. You have the powers of a free genie.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 10 times better. That would be my as for a sidekick.
Okay, carry on.
Wait, no, what were you going to ask?
What kind of lamp would you come out?
I didn't say I was going to be a fucking genie.
An old boot or something.
I just said I want the power to materialize whatever I want in front of me.
Okay.
That's a genie.
Oh, Coke can.
No, it ain't.
Don't you remember that, like, the 1970s was a genie in a bottle? She would just say, okay, master, bring the blonde lady.
Right.
Is that what it's
I'm not
called?
stuck in a little...
It's his own
that's fine. You're not stuck
I
in
don't
it.
have to grant other people's wishes. Somebody be like, all right, I want a Maserati. No, fuck you. You know?
But if I rub your vase, will you come out?
No, I don't pull out. Sorry. I'm a hand kind of guy.
Okay, sidekick. Who would you pick? First, you have to tell us who would you pick as a person. Be anybody.
As a person. I would pick Cartman from South Park.
Ooh. Okay.
And TD's going to back.
Yeah, probably.
He's got to stick in a lamp.
And his superpowers would be to teleport
like
himself or anybody with him. No, his superpower would be authority. Okay.
Yeah, everything he says has to happen. Like the individuals have to do.
There you go.
Cartman. Yeah, he would get his way. Oh man.
There you
Perfect.
go.
Okay, and then you have a villain.
Our villain would probably be Kyle's mom. I mean, think about it.
That's good. That's good. Hey, Bardo.
Superpower. Okay, so then I want to have Deadpool's power, but after Thanos granted him the ability of immortality, so I can never die.
Okay,
I want that universe. No, I just have his power.
Yeah, so what is Deadpool's power? Because some of us don't watch what shit. Yeah.
He's actually got more than just regeneration. He can regenerate. He's actually a lot stronger than normal people and shit like that.
And Thanos granted him the ability of immortality, so he can actually never die. Even though he can regenerate, he will no matter what come back.
Yeah,
he can come back from like a drop of blood.
Your legs blown off, you get a little baby leg. You
can incinerate him and he can come back from a drop of blood.
Yeah. Because if he can have a power stone, I definitely want this universe's Deadpool, so I can never die. My sidekick?
Who would you... Okay, first of all, who would you take? Who would your sidekick be?
I want Patrick Star from SpongeBob.
There you go.
Little.
Yeah.
That's the funniest shit.
Jellyfishing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's super strength. I mean, he's a pretty strong guy.
Okay, so what his superpower would be? Super strength? Or would you give him something different?
I give him the ability to live on land so the world gets to see him.
Would he be person size, or would he be the size of an actual starfish?
I think he'd be like person size, like the Son of Zorn. He'd just look like that in our world. You know, like that kind of imagery. He just like that cartoon look,
but living in real life.
Yeah, he'd have the same personality from the SpongeBob show. A villain?
A villain. Ray?
No, that wouldn't be a SpongeBob villain. I want him to be like Dexter from like Dexter's Laboratory.
Okay.
It's just this science nerd whose sole goal is to like try and kill me, but he can never kill me. And Dexter was a pretty crazy little engineer.
Yes, and scientist.
Yeah, I think he'd be a funny evil villain. But he has to stay a kid form for like ever. Can't grow up.
You can have Rick Sanchez.
That doesn't. No, I'm good. You can have Rick Sanchez.
Oh, I got Captain Crunch.
Okay, Uncle Blobby, you're next.
Yeah, I had a hard time thinking of this because I don't know of a lot of superheroes who I want to be. But I decided, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the idea of a multiverse theory as opposed to a universe, but a multiverse is where every possible universe that could exist does exist.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense? So my superpower is that I have the ability to travel through the multiverse wherever, whenever I want, at any time, basically by snapping my fingers.
So like BioShock.
Maybe
Did you ever
like
play BioShock?
Yeah,
like
I
the
played
girl, how she can
BioShock.
go in and out. Yeah, if you played Infinite, the third one, the girl had the ability to like. Well, she had the ability to access different versions of reality or the multiverse, and she could go in and out. And the long story is she looked for the one that won to save her.
But how do you conquer evil with that?
Why am I conquering evil? I'm just cruising the multiverse. Nobody said I had to conquer evil.
No.
But yeah, so like there's a multiverse where I woke up this morning and I brushed my teeth, and instead of going to work, I got in my truck and I drove to Mexico. So right now I could just snap my fingers and boom, I'm there. Or instead of driving to Mexico, I drove to fucking Louisiana. Or I died, whatever.
Okay, so
I
here's
can
a
go to
question.
any one of those anytime I want just by snapping my fingers. So if there's an evil guy about to attack me, evil boss, nemesis guys coming at me, I just snap my fingers and I'm in a different multiverse.
I got a question.
I have a question.
You're the
too.
evil guy trying to attack the other guy.
Yeah, maybe I am the evil guy.
Okay, my hand's in the air. So at what point does this become like Highlander?
I don't know what that is.
What?
There can only be one. So every time one of you dies, every other one becomes stronger.
I don't see any one of me dying.
You just said someone died. Like, there's got to be an infinite number of you.
I did say that.
You got no powers. I'm going to make that my
question.
My mission.
That was what I was going to ask him. Okay, if you snap your fingers and go to another multiverse, are you in that multiverse as yourself with your other you in that multiverse, or are you taking over that you in that multiverse?
I'm taking over, I think. That was how I thought of it. Yeah, it wasn't like I pop over there and there's another one of me over there.
Then you have to fight him and you kill him and you gain his power.
No, I just am. Well, I gain his power.
You just assume control of yourself in another multiverse.
Yeah, it's just like I'm me, but instead of on the current decision tree that I'm on a different one.
Yeah.
So there could be a multiverse version of you that loves guitar.
There is. There is, yeah. You know I'm not snapping my fingers and going there. Until I run out.
He would win like tournaments and he would be loaded.
That'd be his number one most visited multiverse.
Yeah, to live the guy's lifestyle, but not the Guitar Hero part. That'd be fun.
Okay. Sidekick.
My sidekick? I don't know. I'd probably take my grandma.
She come with you on these snapping journeys across.
She can make pierogies all along the way and
pierogies.
Tell me that I look like I haven't eaten enough.
Wait, Stinky, do you know what a pierogi is?
No.
Okay, good. Carry on. Just making sure.
That's absolutely good question. And no evil menace is gonna come to try to kill my grandma.
Not when she's pierogies.
Your evil nemesis is the one who loves Guitar Hero. Yeah.
It's me all along. It was me.
So can the other versions of you from other pocket dimensions, can they snap their fingers and zip
that's
around?
what they're doing right now. they might be
shit, this is real?
taking me over right now. Yeah.
Fuck.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so what would your...
How do we know that you're
You
the real
don't.
one?
When did I ever say I was the real one?
You like Guitar Hero?
I don't know.
Wait, which one is the real one?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what would your grandma's superpower be?
Just
Pierogies.
pierogies and smiling at me and telling me she loves me.
Oh, good. And that you're doing a good job.
It's pretty realistic here. I'm not shooting for the moon like you guys are. It's just
Okay.
Just
superpowers.
traveling the multiverse and then
You should be like a Class B superhero. Could be like Class A.
Or an S class.
Fuck, I don't want to live forever if that's what you mean. Fucking regenerate my limbs and shit.
Yeah, it would be really weird at one point, for sure. But
Life is painful enough. Like, come on, let me out.
Okay, so and then your supervillain is the Guitar Hero loving version of you with bangs.
I guess so, yeah, with bangs.
With bangs, emo sock net armbands and. Okay, so now we have come to my answer. I had a lot of fun with this. Coming up with I had a bunch. I was talking to Uncle Blobby today and had quite a few picked out, and I think I've narrowed it down to what I would consider having fun with the questions. So I'm going to start off with my sidekick. Sidekick gets to be Bardo Il Perso, the lovely gentleman we have here in the chat today. He is my sidekick. Now, your sidekick name I've come up with, it's going to be Sidekid. Not for the fact that you're my sidekick, but you have the power of producing lettuce in your pockets, shooting salad dressing out of your eyes, and creating side dishes for people's meals.
like every type of side dish? So like rigatoni, or no, little Italian meatballs.
Oh, just salad.
Salad. You're shooting lettuce, man.
You got endless pockets of lettuce.
Just salad? Okay. Do I at least got arugula? Maybe some spinach?
Yeah, you got lettuce. Okay, leafy greens you could pull out of your pockets, and then you got in your tear ducts you shoot out salad dressings of your choice, like ranch, Caesar. So basically, you're the most sought after.
So I can feed myself.
You could feed,
families. Drain my eyes into my mouth.
Is that cannibalism at that point? If you're producing it and eating it? There's also a whole Netflix episode where you go off with Bobby's grandmother and make pierogies and salads.
I had fun with that, thinking of that. And that's super, like you'd have some crazy, costume, like a piece of lettuce for a cape, and
that is fun. Yeah,
it's the Adam costume. Little lettuce sleeve over your junk.
That's all you'd have on is just one of those loincloths, lettuce. You need a pocket too to produce your
pockets.
Man, I'd have the best toilet paper. Just fresh leaves all the time. Yeah, like perfectly crisp. Oh.
Get like poop croutons or something. I don't know, something crazy like that.
That's a special salad I make.
And now my superpower. I haven't come up with a name yet, so maybe you guys can help me with the name. My superpower would be that I would be slightly better than average at everything. So this includes bowling, golf, crocheting, making cheesecake, slightly better than average. Everything I do.
What about making salads?
Slightly better. My sidekick.
Decent. Your sidekick is just for backup salads.
Yeah, he is. Basically. Yeah. I'd let him do the salads, but I can make slightly better salad. Or
I'm a master. No, you're above average.
Hey, yeah, I'm above average. So there you go. He would be better
to make fucking salad.
Exactly. superpower is just being slightly better than average. Like, average a golf score might be, -2 or 0 or something. I'd be like -3, -4, something a little bit better than average.
Always slightly better.
Always slightly better. And
does that mean that does that also limit you to never being the best? Because you're only ever slightly average.
Absolutely.
But as an all-arounder, he's not so bad.
So you're slightly better in bed.
Yeah, but who's your nemesis?
That's that little bit longer.
Nemesis?
Yeah.
Ooh,
the guy who's actually ultimately better at everything?
Slightly worse than average.
Okay. It sounds like the cards are stacked in your favor there.
Oh, yeah, only because I'm slightly better.
And he's slightly worse.
Not like much. No, not by much. I don't know. That would be a good question to villain. Does anybody have a name? Think of a name?
Slightly better than average man.
I wouldn't even have a coat. Decent man. I wouldn't even have a coat. It'd just be
nearly Superman. Yeah, nearly Superman.
Okay.
Totally expected somebody to come out with saying, "Oh, my superpowers, I have all the superpowers," because that's not a fucking superpower.
You only have one.
Yeah, but Cartman would get that because he'd say it and it would happen. Remember? Because he's
that's a good point.
He's all the powers.
All of the power.
Well, then I just snap my fingers and go to the multiverse where I have all the superpowers.
There you go.
Then one day I'll be your villain. Slightly better than
average man.
Yeah, decent man. All right, guys. That'll do it for another episode of Peanut Gallery Gaming. If any of you guys want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us on our Twitter and Facebook page. Leave a comment and always let us know what you guys think and what you guys want to hear from us. We're always willing to pick up a new topic. So I guess we'll talk to you guys later.
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 See ya.
See ya.